The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
Chicken head, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of A Bucket Full of Chicken Necks. I got a big potpourri. I like that word, potpourri, potpourri, however you want to say it. I've always liked that word. It's always been one of my favorite words. But I got a potpourri of things to talk about today. The first thing I want to remind you, though, up front, is there are 2 weeks left to the $2.99 a month for life Join the Brand special. Go to vincerussobrand.com, use the code word brand, and 2 great interviews this week. Listen, man, as I move more and more away from wrestling, I'm just being honest with you because, you know, to me, it's just become totally irrelevant. There's nothing there. It's not entertaining anymore to me. And it's becoming clearer and clearer to me every day that I have to make a living off of Vince Russo. So in order to make a living off of Vince Russo, I have to entertain you and I have to do what I enjoy doing. And one thing I enjoy doing is I enjoy interviewing people. I enjoy finding out about people, learning about people, finding out, their journeys in life, what brought them to where they are today. And this week, I got 2 very interesting interviews that I think are highly entertaining. The first one is with a woman by the name of Trina Michaels. Now, Trina literally has starred in over 100 adult films. She's been trying to break out of the adult business and go into wrestling on a full-time basis, which she really loves. Now, you got to understand, I was completely out of school in doing this interview. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not an adult film guy. I was never a guy that was into porn. I was never those guys. I can remember when I was about maybe 15 years old. I was at my friend's house, Greg Perlmutter. I haven't talked to Greg Perlmutter in years, but I remember I was at his house once, and we came across this 8mm film in his dad's closet, and the dad had a closet. We wind up watching the film. Like I said, I was about 14, 15. It was in black and white, and it was about this TV repairman that came over to repair the TV for the woman. One thing led into the next. The next thing you know, we had a full-fledged stag film. After that, when I was 16 years old, my best friend in the world who has passed away, his name was Jeff Iorio, but his older brother, Anthony Iorio, snuck us into an adult film theater in Coram, Long Island. I was about 16 years old. I remember going in that theater and seeing what was on that screen, and I was cracking up. I couldn't stop laughing seeing an adult film for the very first time. I got to be honest with you. That's been the extent of it for me. I'm not into that. I never was into that. I much rather, see sexy girls in movies or sexy girls in magazines. I like that a lot better. That is more appealing to me. Just the mystery. That's just me. So I'm not into this whole porn thing. So I was like out of school when I was interviewing Trina, and I did not want to come across insulting, putting her in a bad light or anything like that. But I wanted to kind of know, how does a young, beautiful girl like you get into a situation like this? I had a great interview with her. Listen, I think she's a great girl. I think she's got a great heart. I wish her nothing but success going forward in the wrestling business. But again, very interesting interview. The second interview is perhaps even more interesting. If you remember, a couple of years out there was an epic YouTube video that went viral. The guy appeared on, the late night talk shows, and he was the guy that when there was a Legends convention, he stood up and he started crying, "It's still real to me, damn it." If you're a wrestling fan, you've seen this video. Well, the guy's name is Dave Wills, and I have him on my show. That's going to air tomorrow. Now, you got to understand something. Dave shows up in an "I'm Jim Cornette Guy" t-shirt. He's got Jim Cornette books on his coffee table next to him, and he's just ready to go. He is so opposite Vince Russo. This is a guy, Vince Russo is sports entertainment. I was always about sports entertainment. This is a guy that was old school, traditional wrestling. So, this is a situation, that has the ingredients to explode. And I'm not going to tell you what happened because I think you need to see it. And for $2.99 a month for life, trust me, that interview alone is worth its weight in gold. You have 2 weeks left. And listen, I want to explain something to you. I'm tired of these little digs out there of everybody saying, oh, watch my podcast free. What, free? And you know who you are. Let me explain something to you about that. First of all, I don't work for a big podcasting company like a Podcast One. Realm is just breaking into the business. We're breaking in this together. So we're developing something special here. So Realm does not have the advertisers and the sponsors to pay Vince Russo X amount of dollars every month. Therefore, I rely on subscribers. However, knowing that I rely on subscribers, I don't rely on subscribers doing one podcast a week. You go to the Realm Network, you go to VinceRussoBrand.com. There is a channel of podcasting where every week, Sunday through Saturday, every day of the week, there's a different show. So yes, it is $2.99. This is how I make my living, but I am making sure that you get so much content that you can't even keep up with it. So when people go tooting their horns about their free podcast that they're getting paid good money for and they're doing it once a week, it is what it is. I have to make a living by doing this, but that's why I make sure, you're getting everything for $2.99 a month. And you listen, next Monday, exclusive interview with Mick Foley. You're only going to get it if you're a brand member. The following Monday, exclusive interview with Ric Flair. You're only going to get it if you're a brand member. That's about that. That's enough about selling. Let me go on. Little psych tonight. Going to see Billy Joel tonight. Billy Joel was a Long Island guy. I obviously was a Long Island guy. I've been to hundreds of concerts in my life. Hundreds. I never saw Billy Joel. So when I saw that he was appearing here at the Pepsi Center, I made it a point. I got the tickets. I'm going to go see Billy Joel. The seats aren't the greatest, $60 a pop. I wasn't going to pay a couple of $100 to sit, floor, but it doesn't matter. When you go to a concert like this happened with me with McCartney a couple of years ago. When you're in the building with somebody like this, that's all that matters. It really is all that matters. And being in a building with Billy Joel is going to be very special. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, I got to say this. When I bought the tickets, I planned on me and my wife going, but somehow the Divas snuck in the back door, so she's going to be going with me. But that's cool, because let me tell you something about my wife. I tell you a million times, she's from the Midwest. She's a good Midwestern girl. And, I'm from Long Island. I still got New York in me. I still love music. I still love to go see music. Last weekend, I think it was, 2 weeks ago, I went to go see Joan Jett, and it was a free concert. So at a free concert, it's every man for themselves. I have to get there early because I got to get within 10 feet of the stage. You don't get within 10 feet of the stage, don't bother going. So I got there 10 feet of the stage. Listen, man, every character in Denver was out for this concert. I was scared to death for Amy. She was so out of her element. I made sure she stood in front of me. I made sure I protected her throughout this whole thing. But that is a job in itself. So you really can't stand there and enjoy the music because I'm worried about the welfare of my wife. The same thing with these concerts. When a lot of times I'm not going to pay the big money to get a good seat. I did that for Rihanna, which of course was the exception. And I think those tickets cost me $120 a piece, which I originally bought for me and my wife, and the Diva snuck in then at the last minute. But aside from that, usually somewhere on the side of the stage, the 300 section, I went to go see Fleetwood Mac like that a couple of months ago. And here's the deal with my wife, you can't go look for closer seats. She doesn't do that. She plays everything by the rules. So while I'm sitting there and I'm scoping out seats that are closer, I know I can't move because she's not going to do that. We got tickets for these seats. These are where we're sitting. So that's why I like, with the Diva, we can break a couple of rules. We can scout out the situation. Maybe we can get better seats tonight. But nonetheless, I'm really looking forward to this Billy Joel concert. I'll let you know, how it goes. Probably when I do Lions, Tigers, and Bears with Jeff on Friday, I'll talk about it a little with you. And speaking of Billy Joel, I got to say that Christy Brinkley is now dating John Mellencamp. Which John Mellencamp, I've said this before. I don't want to beat a dead horse. He's the coolest guy on the face of the planet. I don't care how old he is. I don't care how old he gets. When the walls come crumbling down is the coolest video you'll ever see. I went to see him perform again only about maybe a year ago. Still the same cool Mellencamp. The fact that he's got Christy Brinkley now, and she looks incredible for her age. But good for John Mellencamp. But there's the Billy Joel tie-in. Okay, I got to tell you this. I'm going back to England at the end of the month, and I can't believe I'm going back to England because every time I get back from England, I swear it's my last time there. Now, don't get me wrong. I love England. I love the people there. I like the food there. I like the accents. I like the wrestling. I like everything about England once I get there. The freaking plane ride there and the plane ride home is killer. It's like it's never going to end. And if you know me, I can't sit in one place for more than a minute. I'll be honest. When I go out to my dinner with my wife, you can ask my wife this. When I'm done eating, I leave and I walk outside. I'll make an excuse to go to the bathroom, whatever I have to do, because I can't sit in one place. When I was wrestling and I was writing and I was constantly talking to talent, I could talk to them for about 5 minutes, but then I had to move on. I had to go on. That's my attention deficit disorder. So imagine sitting in a plane seat for 9 or 10 hours and there's nowhere for me to go. I mean, I could walk to the bathroom or the galley so many times, but it drives me crazy. So the last time I went, I said it would be the last time. However, I work for a great organization over there, IPW UK. I work for a great guy by the name of Daniel Edler. This is the third time I'm going there now. He wrote a storyline about me, so I want to deliver. I don't want to leave him high and dry, so it means I'm going back to England. This time I'm going to Ireland for the first time. Last time I went to Germany. This time I'm going to Ireland, a meet and greet. It's only like a 3-day trip, but with the travel, it's really a 5-day trip. But I got 2 shows in England, and then I got a meet and greet Monday the 28th, a Q&A in Ireland. And I'm looking forward to that. But like I said, the thought of getting there and the thought of getting home, that's what kills me. The following weekend, I got to get on a plane all over again to go to something out in New Jersey, some kind of Legends gimmick, which is cool. Listen, I don't like flying. I'm not a big fan of flying, especially when you're up 15,000 feet and you realize you're like in a tin box. Like that freaks me out. But here's the good thing, like about me getting out and, going to England, Ireland, New Jersey, whatever it is. I'm a hypochondriac. I've been a hypochondriac for years. I thought I've been dying of so many diseases in the last 30, 40 years. Like I can't even tell you, but here was the thing. Like I used to have ailments, but then when I knew I was going away to work or I was going on the road or I was going to wrestling, I knew as soon as I got to wrestling, I would be okay because my mind would be off of whatever I thought was killing me at the time. So, I'm going through that again. And what's difficult with me at this point is there's never anywhere for me to go. So my mind keeps thinking these thoughts. There's nothing to take my mind off of it. So that's why I'm looking forward to the trip to England, Ireland, Jersey, because once I go, I'll be cured and I'll be 100% okay until I come back. That's that for that. There was something else I wanted to hit on. I'm trying to hit everything in order. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. I want to tell you this. I told you about a week ago with the news with iHeartRadio. where the vice president, I don't know what his title is, but he heard my show and said, Vince, I don't want to pigeonhole you to wrestling. I think we could do something much bigger. I think you could have a talk show on your own. Let's send me some ideas. Then we'll get together. We'll hash it out. We'll figure out what the show will be. I did exactly that. I sent them ideas. There's a meeting now set for next Thursday. Back at iHeartRadio, we're going to talk about those ideas. We're going to figure out what the show is. I'm hoping that we start the show once I get back from New York. I'm going to be gone the last weekend in September for England, Ireland, first weekend in October for New York. Once I get home, I hope that's when we start the show around October 10th or something. Also, I might have some news by Friday where I'm looking to take that Ham and Eggers Preferred show, and I may be moving that somewhere else on the internet. A different avenue, because that was a good show. It was a really good show. It would have been a great show. So I may be moving that somewhere else on the internet. I hopefully will let you know that news by Friday. So obviously, there is a lot happening. I want to talk a little bit about the entertainment news. Man, this boggles my mind. This week, the four Kardashian girls, Kylie, Khloe, Kim, and Kendall. Kourtney is not involved in this. Thank God. I was just going to say Kourtney's a mother and she needs to be taking care of her kids. Well, Kim's a mother now too, and that should be her priority. But she's involved in this regardless because there's money involved and she doesn't have enough money. But anyway, this week, all four Kardashians kicked off paying, subscribing websites. Okay, $2.99 a month. Now, I got to tell you, I pay for my website because I have to. I charge for my website a subscriber base. I have to. It's how I make a living. It's how I pay my bills. And listen, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not even at the point that it needs to be to cover my bills. A lot of my money is coming out of savings and money I've made in the past, and that's dwindling down. But what I get here on the Realm Network, helps me pay the bills. So I don't have a choice. Like, that's what I have to do. I don't really think these Kardashian girls need the money. The fact that they can't put a free website out there and they got to charge $2.99 just blows my mind. But, again, this is like a money hungry, egotistical family where, money rules. That's the way it is, regardless. Who knows what Chris's cut in this is? It's probably 10%. $2.99 a month to join their separate websites. Okay, in the first today's Wednesday. In the first 2 days, they've had 900 people join the website, almost 1 million. So 1 million people, $3 a pop. That's $3 million a month. That's $36 million a year. Just to subscribe to their website. $3 million a month. $36 million a year, which is unfreaking believable to me. I don't know what they give you for this service. Obviously, I'm not going to know because I'm not going to subscribe. But for 1 million people to subscribe in the first couple of days. But here's the interesting thing. You can subscribe to the channels separately. Here's the breakdown of how these people are subscribing. Kendall got 6% of the subscribers. Kim got 9% of the subscribers. Khloe, 11%. Kylie, 74%. So it is obviously clear. Kylie's the new it girl. Kylie is now Kris Kardashian's cash cow. She's the one raking in the money. She's the one pulling in the money. I can't wait to see jealousy erupt in this family because, Kim is going to have a real hard time with 18-year-old Kylie getting 74% and Kim only getting 9%. Regardless of how I'm happy for my sister, this, that, and the other thing, you're full of baloney. You're not happy of anything. You're going to be jealous. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But Kylie is now the it girl. It's clear. I don't even know what to say about her going out with this Tiger guy. I've seen this guy like on MTV. I've seen some of his interviews. It doesn't even isn't worth time commenting. Like it's just ridiculous, this guy. But anyway, she's the new work girl. That's about in the entertainment news. I want to talk to you about professional wrestling. There were a couple things I wanted to talk about. I was reading just before I came on today, and I'm sure Jeff is going to cover this, that part of the agreement of Jeff Jarrett and Global Force Wrestling going to TNA was that Jeff Jarrett is now no longer a minority owner of TNA. That's what's being reported anyway. And that part of the deal was that Panda Energy bought him out, and he had a whole laundry list of kind of demands he wanted before a Global Force Wrestling appeared on TNA. Obviously, I've said it a million times before. TNA was at a point that they were absolutely desperate. So, in their minds, what's the most earth-shattering thing we could do? We bring Jeff Jarrett back. Well, obviously, I don't think too many people cared about that. Maybe they would have if the story was done correctly and if it was more personal and not wrestling-based. Maybe it would have been more interesting. It would have been more intriguing, but they didn't go that route. They went wrestling-based. But now Jarrett supposedly is no longer a owner of TNA. Another thing about TNA is we are we're 2 weeks away from the end of September. There's been no announcements made. Are they staying on Destination America? Is the deal going to be over? No new TV tapings have been announced. I think they have after tonight's show. I think there are 2 more weeks in the can. Nothing's been announced for new tapings. So, your guess is as good as mine. But looking at it from my point of view, obviously it doesn't look good. You would think TV tapings at least have been booked, knowing they are going to need new content by October 7th. But whatever. I want to talk a couple of things about the WWE. I hate to say this, and I don't want to sound bad, but I have to say this. I'm a Christian guy. I read the Bible. I don't study it as much as I do, but I've read it through a couple of times. I know what's in there. I wholeheartedly believe everything in there. One thing that it tells you and it teaches us as Christians, or me as a Christian, is to, when you help somebody, like help them in secrecy. Like you don't let the entire world know, because then you're probably doing it for all the wrong reasons. So when you help somebody and you aid somebody, whether it's monetarily, whatever the case may be, you don't make a big to-do and a big deal out of it, because then like your intentions may be different than doing it for all the right reasons. I watched Raw this week, and I have to tell you, this is just Vince Russo talking. And this is the way it's coming across to Vince Russo. But the whole Connors Care charity, to me, is just coming across as very, very, very self-serving to the WWE. I mean, from putting the logo, on the stage, to Triple H and Stephanie coming down, bowing to the logo, to a PR piece in the middle of the show of everything they're doing for Connor's Cure, and bringing the WWE talent to a children's hospital. Listen, don't kid yourself. Okay, this is a beautiful gesture on their part. I mean, let's face it. Kids love wrestling, and kids love stars, and kids love wrestlers, and you got a lot of dying, sick kids, and you bring a wrestler to the hospital, it's going to light up their face. It's going to give them hope. It's a beautiful gesture. It's a beautiful thing just to see a smile on those kids' faces. But I just got to tell you, when the company itself is making a big, huge deal out of it, it comes across as there is like ulterior motives. It just does to me. I'm just being honest with you. Listen, I know hundreds of celebrities who back causes with millions and millions and millions of dollars. But you have to go find that. You have to go hunt and peck, on their bios on the internet to see, what organizations and what charities they're donating to and how much. They don't publicly just go out and talk about that for the exact reasons that I'm telling you. They have PR people, they have publicity people that are telling them, listen, people are going to find out that you donate to charitable causes. If you go out and toot your own horn about it, they're going to say you're doing it for ulterior motives. And that's why they don't do it. But I have to tell you, every time the WWE hits on this Connor's cure, that's how it comes across to me. And, like I said, if it's sincere, great. But the fact that you have to let everybody know and you have pieces built into the show and, the logo on the stage and bowing down to the logo, I'm telling you, to me, it just comes across as just you're looking for the good publicity, you're looking for the goodwill, you're looking for the PR. And I'm not saying what you're not doing is great, but by tooting your own horn and patting yourself on the back, in my opinion, you're taking away from the good deed. I had to say that because that's how I felt watching Monday's show. Listen, I watched Raw this Monday night, because I quite frankly, I wanted to see how Sting looked in the ring, because I knew the last time I saw Sting in a TNA ring against Magnus, I believe it was a pay-per-view. And that was 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. I don't know, but I was like, he did not look good. And, for the first time, I said that about Sting. So I wanted to see how he looked, especially once they announced, in the first segment he was going to be wrestling. Listen, the WWE kayfabe themselves going up against Monday Night Football. Why they did not advertise Sting wrestling on the show? They should have announced it last week and hyped it through social media the entire week. So hopefully you will draw more of an audience on Monday. Why they did not do that, I have no idea. They kayfabe themselves. And obviously, here's the funny thing. The rating of hour 3 when Sting wrestled actually went down from hour 2, which was amazing. But I'm talking about, the people that were there when the show first started. If this was something you'd been hyping a week, since last week's show, throughout the week, I think you might have popped a bigger number than you did. I don't understand the philosophy of doing it that way. Obviously, they had the match. They protected Sting big time. When he was in there, it was a lot of kicking, a lot of punching. Then they had seen a team with them. So, Sting didn't even tag in. Then finally, at the end, he gets the hot tag and he beats Rollins 1, 2, 3. Whatever. Listen, I'm not even going to talk about that. There is nothing, honestly, for me to care about in professional wrestling. There is nothing for me to get excited over. There is nothing for me to talk about. Quite frankly, for me, there is just nothing there. And, like a couple of months ago, when I was first starting this and first getting into it and really starting to watch Raw again, I would sit here and I would rant and rave about the creative. Why are you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? I would write letters, dear Vince, why are you doing it? Why aren't the fans deserve better? The this, the that, the bop, 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 bop. And I did that for a long while. But I got to be honest with you, it's gotten to the point with me, like, I don't even care anymore. Like, it's not, I don't get upset about it anymore. I know what to expect. I know what you're going to get. You'll get that, decent show after the pay-per-view, and then after that it'll go right back into cookie cutter. I don't get upset anymore. I don't rant and rave anymore. I don't write Dear Vince letters anymore, because I've come to the conclusion that wrestling is what it is. This is wrestling in 2015. And listen, the number on Monday night was a 2.42. Head to head with Monday Night Football, 3.4 million people. There was some comparisons lower than it was last year, lower than it was the year before that. The 15-year pattern continues, to go in the south direction, and nobody's doing anything about it. So it's like I can't come on here and rant and rave and use all my energy and get frustrated and care about it the way I do, because quite frankly, there's no point. It's not going to change. It's not going to get better anytime soon. It is what it is. So my concentration has been on, and I've spoken about it the last couple of weeks, I'm in the Vince Russo business. I'm going to make a living based on me, my ideas, my opinions, the way I get them across, the things I say, and my ability to entertain. If I was relying as wrestling as a crutch, like all of these wrestling websites do, I mean, they're wrestling websites. If I was depending on wrestling to make a living, I'd have to be the biggest idiot on the face of this planet. Because like I said, when you look at the history of a 15-year decline, and I'm going to take all Vince Russo's eggs and put them in the wrestling basket, I got to be an absolute idiot. Why would I want my eggs in the basket of an industry that's dwindling year after year after year and will continue to dwindle, because no matter what anybody says, nothing's being done to make it better. So those ratings will continue to go down. So that's why I've expanded my game. And I made the decision, I'm going to make a living on Vince Russo and what I do and my opinions and my views and my feelings and my ability to entertain you. The whole point with iHeartRadio, quite frankly, was for me to get my foot in the door with wrestling, because that's how people know me. But once I got my foot in the door, I knew through my personality that they would be able to see something that wasn't just wrestling. I had no idea they were going to see it in 2 weeks. I'll be honest with you. I was shocked when iHeartRadio wanted to change the game plan in 2 weeks, but that was my point. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm really getting to the point of I can't get fired up anymore. Like the emotional involvement and attachment, like, is just not there. I mean, I wrote a column this morning for CSR because I'm contractually obligated to write that column. Now, there are things I could have went off on for 5 hours if I wanted to. But it's like, at the end of the day, what's the point? WWE clearly does not want to become better. They're clearly satisfied with the position they're in. Why? Well, quite frankly, you still have two of the writers that were responsible for the highest ratings in the history of your company, and both of them are sitting home. You don't ask them to consult. You don't ask them for any of their ideas. Guys, can you watch it, the show, and tell us what our problems might be? As a matter of fact, not only do you not want to know them, but you want to bury them and discredit them like the past never happened. But meanwhile, you want us to forget the past, but what do? You rely on the Attitude Era to sell the WWE Network. The Attitude Era is all over the WWE Network. Why? Because the WWE Network knows that's when the wrestling was good. So why don't they contact the writers who brought them there? Well, for a couple of reasons. First of all, because they don't want to give anybody else credit. They want to take credit for everything that was done for the Attitude Era. And second of all, pride. Pride. They don't want to say, listen, man, we've managed to go from a 6.4 in 1999 to a 2.4 in 2015. And they don't they don't want to admit with that. They don't want to recognize there is a problem. We need to put everything aside and figure out how to fix this problem. So the lack of their just ability to care, with their lack of ability to care, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to care. And that's why less and less and less and less, I don't care. You know, wrestling is what it is. If you want to continue to watch it, you know, continue to watch it. If you're still a fan of it, be a fan of it. But I just know, for me and the person I am, I just need something a lot more compelling to garner, you know, my attention and make me want to watch and make me want to embrace the product and make me want to engage in that product. You have to give me something. A 3-segment wrestling match is not going to make me invest in a product. So what do? I just turn the channel. I mean, that's what I do. I turn the channel or I don't watch. So I just wanted to explain that to you, that, you know, the cutting promos and the saying the same things over and over and over and over again have even driven me to the point of not caring. So what I'm going to try to do is take every element of the brand, every element of Vince Russo, and parlay that into entertainment and engage you through that entertainment, whether it's interviews, whether it's cutting promos on my family, whether it's Jeff and I, you know, poking fun at the big wrestling news involving blue pants, whatever that is. We're going to find the humor. We're going to entertain you. And yeah, when something flips my lid is going to flip. You saw me just last week, you know, with Bischoff and its comments, you know, that he made. And obviously, since I challenged them to meet me face to face, man to man, he's kind of disappeared and went back under his rock, because, you know, that's not going to happen. But when things piss me off, you're going to know when they piss me off. But I got to tell you, a bad wrestling show does not piss me off anymore. It just doesn't. It's irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything to me anymore, because there's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's not going to change. With the same people involved, nothing is going to change. So I just wanted to share that with you. I just wanted to let you know that. I will be back here tomorrow. I'm telling you, tomorrow, It's Still Real to Me, damn it, with Dave Wills is a great interview. You'll be highly entertained. Lions, Tigers, Bears, and Dirt on Friday. I'll tell you all about Billy Joel, everything that happened. But as always, guys, listen, we had a great increase in membership the first 2 weeks in September, almost 50%. And we still have 2 weeks left. And I just want to thank each and every one of you. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm preaching about here. If at any point in time Vince Russo does not entertain you, the brand does not entertain you, Realm Network does not entertain you, it doesn't look like I'm busting my ass for you, please do not subscribe to the channel. Take your $2.99, bring it to Starbucks, whatever you want to do with it. The day I stop earning your money, I don't want your business, and I don't expect your business. You support me, and for you, I'm here every week giving you all that I can. When I start taking you for granted, like I feel the WWE has with its fans, please do not support me anymore. Please do not subscribe. So listen, everybody, thanks for listening. That's this edition of Chicken Necks. I will catch you all on the rebound. As a matter of fact, I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day.